Hello, welcome to historic Second Presbyterian Church in Chicago's South Loop. My name is Bob Adamshick. I'm a docent here at the church, and I'd like to talk about the church a little bit and also about this beautiful window that you see behind me. This building was finished in 1874 by the noted architect James Renwick, who designed St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. In 1900, the church was redone, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and it was redone in English arts and crafts style, and it's one of the finest examples in America of this style, and it's a National Historic Landmark. But going back to the window behind me, this window has two names. It's called the Balcom Memorial Window, and also Behold the Lamb of God. The second name, Behold the Lamb of God, comes from the scene that is depicted. The scene shows St. John the Baptist coming upon Christ with his two disciples, John and Andrew. And John the Baptist realizes that he's seen the Messiah, he's seen the Son of God. This window was installed in 1902, and it replaced a window that was here in 1898. Why a replacement after 4 years? Because in 1900, the church had a devastating fire which destroyed most of the nave and also just about all of the windows. So that's why there was an 1898 window and then a 1902 window. Both of those windows were done by the studios of Louis Comfort Tiffany in New York City. Tiffany employs several styles of glass in the window. The first of which I'd like to tell you about is called Drapery Glass. You can see that in the fabrics of the robes that Christ is wearing and of the disciples, and also from St. John the Baptist. This glass is very three-dimensional. If you put your hand on it, you can actually feel the folds in it. There's also the use of textured glass, which is shown in the tree trunks in the back. And there's also what is called mottled glass, which appears in the leaves of the trees up at the top. That's an interesting innovation of Tiffany, where he used a sheet of glass molten and it added the element fluorine to do the little dabs that show that the sun is shining on those leaves. One of the other big features of this window is called plating. That means that there's not just one plate of glass like in a normal window in your house. There's one plate of glass with another plate of glass with another plate of glass, which adds many effects to the window, one of which is depth. So in the plating for the disciples, they are towards the front of Christ. And if you look at the hand of the disciple, it's definitely in front of Christ's robe. Then if you look behind Christ and St. John the Baptist, you'll see that the sky and the trees are yet further back. So it's the plating of the glass that lets you see that depth perception. Now there's another window in this church done in a different style, which is very flat. The glass is very thick, and there's, especially on the sides, there's a frame that goes around the window that's supposed to imitate a stone arch. It's decorated with crosses on the bottom that are very, very thick. And then up towards the top, there are laurel wreaths, which symbolize Christ's victory over death. The staff that John the Baptist holds is in the shape of a cross, which is a precursor to Christ's crucifixion on a cross. The window is dedicated to the memory of Uri Balcom and his wife, Jane. A little bit about Balcom. Uri Balcom was from New York, emigrated to Wisconsin, and became involved in an extremely successful lumber business. He made lots of money, and he and his wife, Jane, moved to Chicago in 1868 and took up residence on Michigan Avenue. They attended the church. They both died in the early 1890s, and their niece, Mary Curtis, dedicated the first window in 1898 that went poof in the fire of 1900, and then the rededication of the window in 1902. The one main difference between the two windows, although there are no known pictures of the first one, is that the first window contained wooden tracery. That's the parts that hold the window together. Well, they also were burned in the fire. So folks, Please come down and visit historic Second Presbyterian Church on South Michigan Avenue and come in and see the English Arts and Crafts decoration, and also come in and see, feel the windows. Thank you very much.